Yeah, you mean this lady? So this was insane and totally unnecessary. This woman knew that she was taking the life of another being. The problem is that she's another one of those that I've been talking about on my channel, which doesn't value the lives of anything else and probably doesn't value her own life. This was wholly unnecessary, but I think the punishment that she got was a slap on the wrist and a punch in the gut to every other being in existence. I think this was all based on privilege. I know everybody's going to have their own idea. You guys can chat with me in the comments what you think about this, because there have been many well-known individuals of color who've gotten more than a slap on the wrist for things that involved animal cruelty. So this is just a situation again, like I've been teaching on my channel, that we got to start dehumanizing other human beings. We also have to stop looking at other creatures and things that creep and crawl and exist on the earth as not being worthy of the lives that they lead, especially if they're just moving about in their peace. If they're chewing through your walls, they're threatening your children, they're threatening your lives, and they have rabies and things of that nature. Like, I get it. They have to be put down and they need to be removed. But in this situation, bro, look at little bro. Little bro was just like living his best life, he or she, trying to move about and live in peace. And someone who decided to be a monster to it, decided to be as much of a beast as it is, as the raccoon was, and decided to take its life for likes and clicks. Like, I really think this should be a situation, and situations like this in which a person knowingly tortures to death an animal, knowing that that animal is going to experience extreme pain and physical dismembering, discomfort, etc., through whatever torturing that they're putting it through. Like, those people, they got to get the most. They know exactly what they're doing. There's no way for that person to learn a lesson that they shouldn't have already have known before they decided to be cruel to that animal or to another human being, because that's just something else that really is a chronic problem in our world today that I've been talking about on my channel, is that people just easily dehumanize another human being and they see them as less worthy of life. So it's fine as long as or the person who's decided to be cruel can get on with their life, doing whatever they were doing. It doesn't matter what's happening to the other human being. And it's time that we stop dehumanizing other people's lives. People deserve to be able to live, to unlearn whatever stupidity they were raised in, to be educated, and to live a happy, healthy, and productive life. If that's what they're trying to do, you don't just to get to go genocide them. You don't get to ethnically cleanse them. You don't get to steal, kill, and destroy amongst their communities. You don't get to use even the American legal system to heavily incarcerate a specific people just because of their degree of melanation and place of birth. It's something we got to learn if we're going to move forward as a species. It doesn't really matter what political party you are. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter where you were, how you were raised to be. Being a good human should be at the top of your list of what you're learning to be and how you're learning to live in 2024. It's just what is required of us as citizens. Unfortunately, religions aren't able to fix this. School isn't able to fix this. So we have to do something besides decide to incarcerate people. And I think, just as my own personal opinion, it's the world in which we live of hyper intoxic capitalism, which puts the goals of creating and enriching corporations across the board and businesses over the creation of happy, healthy, and mentally healthy human beings. And that's what we're seeing. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Chat with me in the comments, or stitch in and duet me, because I think this is a really, really important thing, a lot more important than people are realizing, is that if people start losing their humanity, what they're capable of doing to another human being, and the kind of chaos that will be unleashed, because it's not just the serial killers are going to pop up with ease. I mean, you've got school shootings, right? I mean, we're in a situation where just last week we had another school shooting. Schools are going to have to do what they used to do when I was in school. I know I'm old, so whatever. I'm gonna get up in my old lady bag. Schools are going to have to take on the mantle of providing the educational resources and differing ways of educating students about gun violence. It's just inescapable. Securing schools isn't the only thing that you need to do. You've got to begin to treat the mental health problems that are going into a kid pulling a gun. Last week it was the one that occurred. They said that bullying was involved. I don't understand how we haven't full stop have pretty hard and fast rules about managing that. I remember when I was in school, there were no safe spaces. If you were going to say something, you better be able to throw down to take up for what you said, because you were going that check. The way we were taught it was that never write a check that your butt can't cash, that your hands can't throw them blows to manage. And it seems like generation after generation that some people aren't catching that, and so we have to begin to reinstitute. It's not that we have to have a toxic culture, right? Because not having safe spaces isn't necessarily the best way. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that schools are going to have to pick up the mantle to deal with the true issues that, and hey, the funding needs to be there. The funding needs to be there. And I say that as a person who has to pay those property taxes. The funding needs to be there for these kinds of programs. And we need to bring them in different ways, because there are different students with different ways of learning and backgrounds that are going to require the kind of teaching that's going to address. You don't pick up a gun to solve your problems. Like, I was raised around guns. I was raised around, I knew how to use knives. Like I said, 1 foot in the country, one foot in the city. Knives, guns, all that stuff. We were taught a healthy respect. And a gun wasn't the way you solved your problem. Somehow that's been lost along the way. And so that needs to be brought back. And that's part of the triage that we have to do in order to fix this, because there's no reason for another human being. By the time they come out of school, they shouldn't just learn. Like my 5-year-old was taught, in the event of an active shooter, here's a paper map. And I have the paper map on my refrigerator because I make myself every day remember to talk to my 5-year-old, because obviously it's a private school. Obviously, the school thought telling them to pick up a stapler, a 5-year-old, and throw it at a gunman. I've been through many active shooters training. I used to work in a facility that had many threats, to the point where the sheriff they had to sit and they had to hire security. Anyway, a 5-year-old is not in a proper position or headspace to be able to pick up a stapler and defend themselves, especially against somebody who has on arm. I'm going to digress. This video is going long. We need to learn how to stop dehumanizing each other, and we also need to learn how to respect the sanctity of life of other beings that exist. I mean, my Native American, my indigenous brothers and sisters, family, I mean, they got a healthy respect. People of other descents too. Anyway, we got to live and learn from this, guys, because this is crazy.